Alright, what's going on YouTube? Coach97 here, another commentary. Um, I'm using the A94 suppressor stock. He's running a support party. I go 191-6 on the map Yemen. And I was mainly just in this room. I believe I get a nuclear. But yeah, the gameplay really isn't, that's just the background. I kind of want to talk about something, it's not a little personal, but just so you guys can know like what I've experienced throughout my life. Um, I was planning actually to talk about my experience with Hurricane Sandy. For most of you guys who know me, well, I know that I was affected by Hurricane Sandy because I live near the water. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about it and tell you guys my experience with it. And let's just get started. All right. Well, when I first heard about this hurricane, that how it affect the northeast of the United States, which is where I live, I wasn't really nervous. I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was, or as bad as it turned out to be. And I was just, guess you could say, I was ready for it. Like, I was waiting for it to come over. But then eventually, in the area where I lived in New York, they had an evacuation, so I actually had to leave. I couldn't stay in my house, which is thank God. Because if I could have stayed in my house, it could have been bad. But yeah, I had to leave and I had to evacuate, so I just had to leave. Then, like, where I went for the storm is I went to my dad's house for the storm, and that's where I experienced the storm pretty much head on. I just wasn't near the water, but I still experienced the storm pretty much head on. It was pretty intense, it was a bad storm. It was scary. The winds were really bad. It felt like the whole house was shaking. We had to go to the basement because we thought that there was going to be a tree to fall in the house. That's how bad the winds were. And it was a bad storm. And it was probably the worst storm I've ever experienced. And during the hurricane, it just was not good at all. But then after the hurricane happened, a day later, I get a call from my mother telling me that she came home, and guess what? When she came home, my house was completely destroyed, and it was probably the worst thing I ever heard in my life. I had like the worst feeling I've ever had before, man. Like, knowing my whole room was destroyed, knowing all my stuff was destroyed. The only thing I was grateful about was my life. Thank God I wasn't there, because I could have died there. But it was just a really bad storm, and I really didn't expect it to be as bad. And I lost a lot of stuff in that hurricane. I lost a lot of my gaming equipment, a lot of personal equipment, personal stuff. Thank God we didn't lose any photos or anything, but I still lost my headset. I lost a lot of pair of shoes. I lost clothes. But everything is replaceable, It could have been worse, and you gotta be grateful for some things in life. But after that, going back to my house to actually see the damage head on, just looking at it at my own eyes, it was horrifying. Like, going home and seeing my whole house like all full of seaweed, and seeing all my stuff destroyed, everything soaked in water. And it was just one of those times in life where I wasn't the only one going through this though, because everybody within the vicinity of me was having the same problem. It was really bad. The whole feeling of the whole area was just bad. It was probably the worst thing I've ever experienced to date. But, recovery was slow. It was real slow recovering from something like this. It took a while, you know. It took me almost half a year. I'm just recently got back fully on my feet. And, rebuilding and recovering from something like this that is like, on such a great scale, doesn't affect you mentally and physically, it's really hard to recover because you lost a lot of stuff, especially like it wasn't that long ago from when I'm making this video. It was almost, no, actually it was kind of long ago. It was like 8 months, October of 2012, I believe. And during that time, I was like, Black Ops 2 was just coming out too, and I was getting ready to play Black Ops 2. I was getting ready to enjoy the new Call of Duty coming out, and I just couldn't do it because I didn't have a TV to play on. I didn't have nothing, really. I couldn't even play the game. The only time I ever played Black Ops 2 was when I was at my dad's house. So when I'm at my dad's house, I suck. I don't play good there. So I never really got to experience the game hands-on like how most people did until like 3 months after the game was released in late December, early January. But getting away from, no, I'm getting away from that. But moving away from that, let's talk about recovering. Now, when I came back to my house, the first thing I did was we had insurance money. I think we didn't get insurance money until like later on, like late March, April. That's when we started getting insurance money to repair But it was pretty bad because we pretty much had to pay for every single thing that happened to the house until we got insurance money, which was not good. And a lot of people weren't getting insurance money and stuff, but I'm not really too experienced with that, so I really don't even know everything, like all the exact details about insurance money and stuff like that. But let's just say that it took forever for everything to be rebuilt perfectly and all the repairs to be done. And after that, life after Sandy now is pretty good. I mean, I guess you could say it's the good. The only good thing that came out of Sandy was being everything getting replaced and getting new stuff, but it still was probably the worst experience anybody can go through. Who like is like in my position, it was really bad. It was really bad. But life after Sandy right now is good. My life's back to normal. I'm just living my life like how it used to be, but in a whole new environment. You know, not a storm ever. If another storm ever happens like that again, I know to take my stuff off the floor. Because I left a lot of stuff on the floor, not thinking, I guess. And yeah, that could have been fatal. I could have lost even more. Thank God I brought my PS3 with me. People probably saying, what a nerd, he brought his PS3 with him. Hell yeah, I brought my PS3 with me. I ain't trying to lose that. But I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the water to actually go into my house. I actually had about 2 feet of water inside my house, which was pretty bad. And plus, we actually, thank God we turned off all the electric before we left, or it could have been really bad. It could have been a house fire. But anyway, there's still like 2 minutes left in the video. I really don't know what else to talk about. I pretty much told you everybody about what I've experienced with my Hurricane Sandy experience, and I guess I'm just gonna finish off saying that it's a good game. This was a really good gameplay actually. This is the closest I ever got to a 200 plus before I actually got to 200 plus. And a shout out to all the people that were helping me, which was Teddy P, Hardcore Sparks, Nobody Epic, Psycho Killer, FH M1, Still Smoking, and Teddy 914 and Regan. Shout out to them for helping me out with this gameplay. And I know I didn't give a shout out to the people who helped me in the support for my 200 plus, which I will. If you want, I'll leave everybody's name in the description. And 200 pluses are not easy to get. And yeah, unless you have the dream lobby, a bunch of noobs who have no thumbs, you ain't getting a 200 plus against tryhards. But anyways, this video is coming to an end, and I just hope you guys enjoyed the video. Goosh97 signing off.